First ball, Hadley. So Richard Hadley has the bowling downwind. It's quite a stiffish northerly breeze. Prabhakar looking for the first run. He'll have it two. He'll probably have two, in fact, as Ken Rutherford does the chasing. And lodges a good return back to Ian Smith, but the first runs come to India in the second over and are scored by Prabhakar. Hit very fine by Prabhakar. This could be the first boundary. The outfield is quick, and Prabhakar, hitting it just wide of Ian Smith, has picked up 4 runs. Nicely clipped away, well wide of Smith, as you can see. Single call for it. Larson very quick, and get it out.
I'm not sure about that. Did the ball hit the stumps? The ball was... I'd like very much to see that again, because the ball was loose after Smith had taken off the bails. I think he may have taken off his gloves, unless he knocked the ball on. Let's watch. No, he threw the ball at the stumps, and it was all right.
Very clever piece of work by Ian Smith. It was awkward for him, but Rahman is out, and New Zealand have struck early. Mandraker, the new batsman, facing Snedden. It says Raju on his back.
It's hit in the air, but it's over the top, away out through mid-wickets. That should go off to the boundary line. Good shot from Manoj Prabhakar as Steve Woodward signals 4.
Well, the Indians prepared to go over the top of the inner ring, as we've seen all tour on this occasion, just picking the ball up. Didn't hit it that well, but this outfield's very quick here at the basin. Been dry in Wellington, as it has in most other places.
Nicely forced away this time by Mandraker. Larson has the chase. Jones, though, will get there first. And 2 runs for Mandraker, just angling it really, away down backward a point. Nicely cut away by Mandraker. Thompson is the fieldsman. He's got a good throw. They won't try it. Look at that. That's a great throw. Magnificent piece of fielding from Shane Thompson. Prabhakar thrashing it away through the covers. That'll go to the fence. It was too wide from Thompson.
Well, it's made Thompson think a bit. His first ball had a wicket in Dunedin. His first ball in Wellington is thrashed through extra cover by Prabhakar, who really chases after anything that's tossed up to him. He wants to really get after it if it's thrown up.
And that's wide again from Morrison. Prabhakar manages to get it away down towards third man, but that's Thompson again. Look at this throw.
Oh, it's marvellous cricket.
That's a fabulous throw. Remember, he's throwing into the wind. And he's right on target again.
Good running here by the Indians. Kevin Larson in quickly from the offside, but he can't prevent a single, and these two pushing on. In fact, the 50 up for India. This is down the leg side. It's gone fairly fine. Martin Snedden covers a lot of territory, but can't stop 2.
What a marvellous piece of fielding there, because Martin Snedden is not what you might call in the first flush of youth. And I can think of many fielders of his age who would have let that go through. He's not the most athletic, natural mover anyway, but he got both hands to it, kept his eye on the ball, and saved 2 runs.
Oh, short, wide, cut by Mandraker, 4 runs. Not a good delivery from Thompson. Mandraker cashes in. Oh, this has gone fine. This will run away for 4. Expensive over this one.
This is a much better over for India, isn't it? That lovely square cut and now a leg glance, and things really coming on. But when we get a chance in the next over, I'm still a little... I mean, obviously, I suppose the object in it all of giving these runs away in Christchurch was to try and bring the side batting up with a chance of victory, so they would then get themselves out.
Quite.
But doesn't that really, in a sense, deny all that's gone on the first few days of the match?
Rutherford, the man after it. They've got 2. In fact, they'll come back for 3. So this really is proving a good over for India. Oh, it's in the air. He could be caught. Here's Martin Crowe, mid-off. Prabhakar looking to hit Danny Morrison over the top. Just spooned it up in the end. Martin Crowe, a straightforward catch at mid-off. So the second Indian wicket, and this is how it happened. Trying to hit it over the top, and hit it high on the bat. He didn't get any carry on it at all. Martin Crowe, straightforward catch. So Prabhakar, the opening batsman, gone for 36.
Did it stop on him a fraction, that, do you think? Or did he just play not a very good stroke? I just wondered if it...
Yes, the way he played it, one gets that impression, although it doesn't really look like it, does it, Henry?
Well, he seemed to check his stroke at the last... You know, he hit it, obviously, the long place, the back part of the bat. But he checked it, whereas if he'd gone right through with it, he might well have cleared the fielder.
The very experienced Dilip Van Saka makes his way to the crease. He's been disappointing this tour, Henry.
We had a glimpse of him the other day, didn't we, at Lancaster Park against Australia, when he and Azharuddin added 52 pretty good runs.
Seems to get his front foot a long way across to the offside and play round his pad, which seems to restrict him hitting the ball that solidly. I suppose, I mean, he's a very good player out of form, but he is getting on a bit, isn't he?
Yes, indeed. I mean, he's well into his 30s now. Exactly what you said. He's out. He's out. That was exactly what you said. Coming for playing right round the front pad, wasn't he?
Exactly. That front foot came across to the offside. He tried to play around for a straight delivery, and umpire Graham Cowan says that's out. So the third Indian wicket has fallen, and this is how it happened. Very full. Look at that front foot. Trying to hit it into the onside. It was straight, hitting, say, Midland leg, and umpire Cowan says that's out. Well, Henry, we've got Azharuddin one ball later than we thought we might have him.
Well, I wonder if Van Saka was wired to us for sound.
Oh, good shot. Beautifully timed by Azharuddin. That just runs away. That's remarkable. Good shot.
Wonderful timing, wasn't it? Absolutely glorious. The stroke of the day to me. A marvellous stroke there. It really was Azharuddin at his best. A beautiful natural timer of the ball. He just hit through the line, found the gap, and it was as though he sort of caressed it away. It really was lovely.
Azharuddin on 7, facing Morrison. It's past great batch in the covers. The outfield is quick, but so is Gavin Larson. 2 for the Indian captain, takes him to 9. Crowe tries at the stumps, but Azharuddin is home. Here's Jeff Crowe. Good, solid, direct hit. Crowe moving quickly in from short cover, but Azharuddin very quick out of the blocks at the non-striker's end.
And he had to be quick, didn't he? No room for error there.
So Snedden has 5 men inside the circle, 4 out on the boundary. It's past Hadley in the gully. Thompson can't get to it. It's down to the boundary for 4. Good shot. Snedden just giving Andraker a bit too much width there. A very nicely played cut shot. End of the over. Andraker 36, 92 for 3. I think Gavin Larson's run-up described the other day, Peter, as a firewalker's run-up, and I think that aptly sums it up, doesn't he? Tiptoes up to the wicket.
Yes, he's a wee tippy-toer. But he delivers well, he gets as high as he can, and has a good control of his line and his length, and he really has come on very well during this series. He's coming in for his first international series.
To Crowe at mid-wicket, he shows at the stumps, there's a direct hit, brilliant piece of fielding by the New Zealand captain, and Mandraker has run out. Martin Crowe with a sensational piece of fielding, picked it up and then had to pivot about 45 degrees, and then shy at the stumps at the bowler's ends. And Mandraker, who went for the quick single, has run out.
Well, you see, he hit it too well to Crow. It was wide of him, but in brilliant fashion, Crow ran to his right, through to his left, and you can't even see Mandraker in the picture, just see his bat. So if he'd hit it quieter, he'd have had more chance, because Crow would have had to have gone further to get it. Beautiful piece of fielding from Martin Crow, and look at a lovely position from Steve Woodward too. Look how quickly he got around there.
And back into the Indian batting lineup today, the 16-year-old Sachin Tendulkar, left out of the game against Australia on Saturday. And a testing time for him, the 28th over.
And he does have a run finally, Tendulkar, and he'll feel better for that as Martin Snedden does the fielding. Here's Gavin Larson now. Single called for, but no. Yes, they do go in the end. Hadley misfielding. Azharuddin went early, then went back, and in the end they got it quite safely. So the 100 comes up in the 32nd over. Forced nicely.
Wasn't that a lovely straight?
It's a long boundary out there, and they'll have time for 3 as Rutherford did the chasing, and it looked effortless from Azharuddin. He got 3 runs for it. It's nicely played by Azharuddin. That's beautifully timed as Thompson went a bit wide that time, and Azharuddin puts it away to the fence for 4. And that's the total, 114 for 4 at the end of 33.
Yes, well, Richard Hadley back into the attack, and he's had 5 very good overs at the beginning of the innings, conceding only 10 runs. There we are. So a difficult time for India to get this man away. Very experienced, knows where to put the ball.
Well, that's a good ball. Swinging Yorker, and they're both at one end. Got to be a run out. Azharuddin's gone. The youngster said nothing. Azharuddin said, let's go. And the captain keeps going. Run out.
Well, absolute tragedy for India. Azharuddin hits a very full-length delivery. In fact, it was Yorker length to mid-on. Takes off for the single. Young Tendulkar just sat on his back there, and they were both at the same end. I thought Tendulkar might step out of his crease because it was more important that Azharuddin stay in. He didn't do so. So Azharuddin leaves the park and leaves Tendulkar to bat on.
Oh boy, there could be some words there later. Let's have a look at it.
Well, here we are. Very full-length delivery. Dug it out, as you see. Took off. Tendulkar came back again. Ken Rutherford, the man. Down to Smith, all on his own. And it was the slow death.
So Tendulkar ruminating at the bowler's end as Kapil Dev comes out. That's a major blow for New Zealand. Azharuddin was the man who could really have lifted that total. Single this time, gets his first run. 14 overs left in the Indian innings. Hadley to Tendulkar. Beautifully driven. That's a magnificent shot. 4 runs.
Yes, lovely shot from Tendulkar. That's the way to play it. Straight bat, straight down the ground. Right up to him, and he hit it straight back.
Richard Hadley starting the 39th over. Tendulkar heaving away through mid-wicket. Great backs is chasing, but it's well struck. 4 runs. So Gavin Larson now to start his 9th over. Tendulkar slogging. It's in the air. Jones is racing around after it. And good fielding by Andrew Jones. Cuts it down to 2. Tendulkar really charging Larson. Here he comes again. Oh, that really was humming. That's 4. Just about drilled it straight through Gavin Larson.
That was a superb shot, really. That was the shot of a batsman who's been around for a heck of a long time and is prepared to come down the pitch, meet the medium pacer on the half volley and just thump it back past him. That would have been a miracle if Gavin Larson could have got a hand on it.
Tendulkar really charging now. Oh, he's lobbed this. That's a clever shot. He just held back and just lobbed it over Martin Crowe and short of Danny Morrison.
It was a clever shot as long as he didn't try and take 2 for it. You've always got the feeling that Tendulkar is just a little bit buoyed up by the occasion and he's carrying on through emotion rather than from the cold realism of technique. But of course, he's an inexperienced player, a very good player.
Sandy did the batting, and that's a lovely shot. That's down to the bench for 4. So India really starting to prosper now in the 40th over.
This has been a very good over indeed for India, with 2 fours and 3 other runs taken from it. And Larson still with 2 balls to go. And remember that Larson has bowled very well. Kapildev just seemed there that there was a chance to hit the ball into the biggest gap in the field. So it is a problem for Crowe now.
So it's the youngsters from the respective sides going against each other. 21-year-old Shane Thompson against 16-year-old Sachin Tendulkar. Big hits. Flying safely. And it's past Jones away to the fence for 4 more. Indeed a top shot.
Well, if you're young and you're brave, you deserve to succeed. That was hit over the head of Martin Crowe, who's at fairly deep mid-on, and into the area which was totally unprotected. But really, Tendulkar is just blazing on his emotion now. He's a lovely player, but he's just going for them. And you can see Kapildev there having a word to him, just calming him down, keeping him cool.
Tendulkar's 36 facing Thompson. Charges again.
Well,
He's
keep him cool.
Big edge. Ian Smith takes the catch. Graham Cowans didn't even bother to put his finger up. Tendulkar knew he'd got the edge. Straight through to Smith. And Tendulkar carried on. So Tendulkar is out for 36. 163 for 6. And in the end, the inexperience of Tendulkar costing India another wicket.
Well, a brave effort from him, but really he should have realised that there's still 9 overs and a couple of balls to go. And that was more like a 48 over rather than a 40 over slog.
Kieran Moray is the new batsman for India. So 2 experienced players and 2 hard-hitting players out there. So the danger isn't over for New Zealand yet. Thompson to Moray. That's well run. Moray's been watching Dean Jones and David Byrne play. Thompson to Kapildev. 3 balls left in the over. Past Hadley at point. And it's 4. The Indian supporters love that. Short and a little wide from Thompson. Kapildev just chopping it down through backward point past Richard Hadley. And that's a boundary. It's caught. It was a wide delivery. Moray paying the price for chasing one straight to Rutherford at point. Rutherford having replaced Richard Hadley in that fielding position for this over. Straight to Ken Rutherford. Takes a comfortable catch at about head height. And Moray's out for a couple. 173 for 7.
Here's Thompson, though, bowling very wide. And Moray could almost be said to be a little bit unlucky that he chased it that wide. It probably should have been called wide, or would have been had he not gone. And good fortune for New Zealand and for Rutherford and Martin Crowe and Thompson.
Kapildev is 22. AJ Sharma's the new player. And he's out now to face Shane Thompson. Past Jeff Crowe, and now they've taken off for the single. Hadley's throw comes to the bowler's end. The danger was down at the wicketkeeper's end where Kapildev was running to, but it's a single for AJ Sharma. He's off the mark. 175 for 7. There's Kapildev on strike. Kapildev on 23. lot of the responsibility for a competitive Indian score resting on the shoulders of the experienced Kapil Dev, as Mark Rakebach's throw is big, too big for Smith, and they get an extra run. Rakebach not really realising that he was throwing downwind there, and that one really took off once he put it up there. It's too big for Smith, so it's 3 to Kapil Dev. He's 26. Snedden working away into it, bowling to AJ Sharma. Past Jeff Crow. Larson has to do the fielding, gets to the ball quickly, gets his throw in the air, and there's only 2 runs. That rain, well, it's drizzle really, isn't it? It's quite thick at the moment, coming in on this brisk northerly. Snedden's going to continue, bowling to Kapil Dev. He hits high, wide and handsome, and out to the fence for 4.
Well, it looks like they might be going off. Yes, well, maybe you can't see with the glasses, but that's the first qualification for an umpire anyway, is not being able to see, isn't it?
So it's quite moist out there. The players are going off ahead of the umpire's discussion about it. So 45 overs and 3 balls have been bowled as they go off because of the rain. 45.5 overs gone. We've got 4.5 to go. 4 overs and 3 balls. The Indian run rate 4.32. Henry Blofeld has rejoined me. Henry, did you by any chance happen to hear of any announcement regarding a reduction in the number of overs in the innings?
My dear everything, I wasn't. I was listening to you, but that will come up very shortly.
So it's Snedden now bowling to Kapil Dev. Pulled away just over the top of Jeff Crow, and it's raced off to the boundary for 4. Good bold hit from Kapil Dev. But I'll tell you what, Jeff Crow wasn't far from pulling that one in.
My goodness me, that was a marvellous stroke there, wasn't it? He judged it, I mean, he hit it over Jeff Crow, over by, I think, 3 feet. And Kapil really is hitting the ball in the way that he used to in his golden days. And it's rather exciting. We've seen some fine strokes. It wouldn't surprise me, Peter, with there was such a short absence, I wouldn't think they will actually knock down the overall number of overs. I think it was 5 minutes at most, wasn't it?
That's right. So the Indian 200 posted as Snedden bowls to Kapil Dev. Martin Crowe takes the sting off, but deflects it, and they'll be able to run 2 as a consequence because the ball didn't go straight down to Ken Rutherford. But unfortunate that for New Zealand, Martin Crowe made a valiant effort to get there. Rutherford had to come in off the long off fence. Headley to Sharma. That's caught. Ian Smith takes the catch as Sharma tried to crush it away through the offside. And AJ Sharma's innings comes to an end with his score of 12 and India 207 for 8 in the 47th over.
And Sharma walked, and umpire Cowan just merely had to stick his finger up. I don't actually know, he bothered in the end. Very easy one. And of course that has almost made it almost certain that we'll only get 1 more over after this one now, because that was what the Indians didn't want to do, to lose that wicket. We've got Watson coming out. He's not the worst player. He hit 50, didn't he, in that test match in Auckland. But I think the hands of the clock now are on 25 past 1. At 1/2 it's the cut-off point. So I think there'll be just the last ball of this over, and then probably just, I think the New Zealanders will make sure there's not time for more than 1 after that.
Big hit by Miller.
Goodness me, what a hit that was.
Into the crowd for 6, and that'll slow down proceedings. Morrison wants to get through this over in a hurry. It doesn't help when a ball has to be returned from the terraces.
My goodness, Peter, what a hit that was. I mean, not many players could have played that. It was a wonderful blow.
So it's 2:19 for 8, still 2 balls to go in the over. Kapil Dev goes again. Rutherford's lining it up. Oh, it was very nearly a catastrophe in the outfield, but Rutherford took the catch. Jeff Crow just about blocked his view as it came down. But well caught. Both the Indians are leaving the field as if the innings is over. No, Wilson's now going to stay out there. Kapil Dev is out. 2:19 for 9 in the 48th over. The umpire's conferring about the time, but look at this again. Look at the near collision. That's Jeff Crow running back there. And Rutherford coming into the picture now. So Narendra Hirwani coming out at number 11 for India. There's 1 ball left in this over, which is Morrison's 9th. It's the 48th of the innings.
I suppose this is the sort of moment a batsman of Hirwani's doubtful pedigree, might get an inside or even an outside edge. He looks a fairly unlikely figure, doesn't he?
Fine leg spin bowler. Gosh, he bowled well against Australia on Saturday, didn't he?
Oh, not hard.
14th over and got Taylor early. It's caught. Well, it will be lunch more or less on time after all. Hawani goes first ball. Hadley gets his second wicket and India are all out for 221. Hawani caught by Martin Crowe from the bowling of Hadley for naught. Full toss.
I suppose the only surprising thing, Peter, about that was he actually hit it with the middle of the bat.
So India all out from the second ball of their 49th and what would have been their final over for 221. The top scorer was Capel, their 46 off 38 deliveries, including that 6 off Danny Morrison, which went into the terraces beyond mid-wicket. 3 players got to 36, Tendulkar, Mandraker and Prabhakar, but 3 of the Indians were run out. 221 the Indians score from 48 overs and 2 balls.
There's the first run for New Zealand, taken by Martin Crowe, and he wants the second. Bit of hesitation as Jeff just hesitated at the striker's end to see whether Martin was coming back, and 2 runs to get underway. Oh, that's not a bad ball. It's going down to the fence. New Zealand get 4 runs rather fortuitously. Crowe got an outside edge. It seemed to pitch well short of the slip field, and it's gone for 4.
Yes, well, it was a lovely ball which swung away and seemed more off the pitch as Crowe assembled a defensive stroke, and the movement of the ball towards the offside took the ball from the edge and bouncing short of Insaka. But a lovely ball from Capel there, just running it away from Crowe.
Whipped away nicely by Crowe. That's a good shot. Beautifully timed. And a second boundary for Martin Crowe, and it's 14 without loss in the 5th.
Oh, full toss, driven. Should get 4 for this.
Yes, that's going, and Jeff Crowe certainly not wasting that one.
Bad ball from Capel there, over pitching. Just nicely placed outside the off stump, and Jeff Crowe did the rest, hitting it away for 4. Martin Crowe's out, caught behind. He goes to slash him through the offside. Umpire Cowan gives the decision in favour of India. There seemed no doubt amongst the Indians. There seems some doubt with Martin Crowe, but the end result is he's gone.
You never know, do you? Martin Crowe stood there and made it quite clear that he didn't want people to think that he'd hit it. Whether in fact he didn't hit it is another question, but almost so often nowadays when a batsman's given out caught at the wicket, one sees batsmen doing this sort of thing. It may be genuine disappointment, but as I say, it might be a little bit of disguise.
33 for 1 New Zealand with Martin Crowe out. So Andrew Jones, the man coming in at number 3 for New Zealand, and big responsibility coming on his shoulders with the departure of Martin Crowe.
Andrew Jones has finally got his first run. Bit of an inside edge, but it's down to fine leg. He's run well and he's got 2. Here comes Watson bowling to Jones. Into the leg side field, through the gap. He won't go all the way to the fence, but it's 3 as Mandraker does the fielding. Andrew Jones is 5 and New Zealand go to 42 for 1. Jeff Crowe looks reasonably fluent playing against the leg spinner. He's turned that one around the corner. Tendulkar rushing in from long leg, and that's well run. Jeff Crowe's back for 2 in the end pretty comfortably. It was very intelligent cricket from Jeff Crowe because he didn't hit the ball with much force, and Tendulkar, who was right down on the fence virtually at fine leg, had to run the best part of 50 or 60 metres to get to the ball, and Crowe in the end had time to complete the 2. So good intelligent cricket from Jeff Crowe. So let's take a look at the comparative scoring rates of the 2 sides. There's India's graph getting steeper as it gets toward, or it's got towards the end, and New Zealand's, as that score would indicate, identically Or virtually identical to India with their rate of scoring. Well placed by Jones. There's a big chase on here for AJ Sharma. And Jones has got 3. There was no sweeper out deep on the offside once the cover field was pierced. New Zealand's 50 up off the second ball of the 17th over. Jones runs quickly. They appeal for the run and he's out. Andrew Jones has run out. It was always going to be a close thing. Andrew Jones got away quickly, but the single just a wee bit too cheeky as far as New Zealand were concerned, and Jones has run out for 9. It's 55 for 2.
It's disaster for New Zealand because Crowe hit it really far too close to the field. It gave him every chance to be able to knock him over. And you can see there that the wickets have been broken and Andrew Jones is just coming into the picture. So really bad luck for Jones and disaster for New Zealand.
55 for 2. Well, the new batsman for New Zealand will be Mark Greatbatch. So things in the New Zealand innings so far going pretty much the same as they did in the Indian innings. Hewani to bowl to Greatbatch. Greatbatch takes the long handle to the leg spinner. And that's 4 runs. Good bowled shot.
Well, there was nothing complicated about that. He came down the pitch, swung with the spin, and away it went. And well played. And that, of course, is the virtue of having a left-hander to play a leg spinner, isn't it?
So the run rate required is getting up towards 6. Important time here with the 2 spinners on, and it's Hewani now bowling to Jeff Crowe. And they appeal for the caught behind, and they get it. Took a long time to decide, Graham Cowns. And in fact, the wicketkeeper had arrived down at the bowler's end by the time the finger went up, I think.
Yes, I must say, little Moray has very much the same principle behind the stumps as the Pakistani wicketkeeper Salim Youssef, who goes running like mad straight towards the umpire. And of course, the danger is when you get a delayed decision like that, you wonder if the appeal itself or the menace in the appeal didn't help it. I'm sure it didn't. But Jeff Crowe did react, did he not, as though there was some doubt about that when the appeal went up, and indeed when he was given.
So there's Ken Rutherford coming out now, with Jeff Crowe dismissed for 26 at 68 for 3. Rutherford turns fine. He should get 2 here. Oh, they should have gone for 2, no question about that. However, they settle on the 1.
Yes, the 2 fielders down there managed to run into each other, and one of them seems to be hurt. I think that's young Tendulkar down there, isn't it? Who
Yes.
again showed his sight inexperience then, and that I think one of them should have said mine or yours, or maybe they both said yours. He looks in rather a lot of pain. He's lying down there on his back, and
So Tendulkar departs.
he's obviously in great pain, though, isn't he, Grant?
69 for 3.
For Sharma to Greatbatch, last ball of the over. And they can get 1 as Prabhakar just makes a slight muff. In fact, they're going to get 2. Just a touch untidy from the Indians. Prabhakar not getting down to it. Didn't field it cleanly. A bonus run for Greatbatch. So he's 20. It's 82 for 3. So nearly 29 overs gone. This is a 49 overs per side match. So 20 overs left. Grant Nisbet now to join John Morrison.
And it's Hewani to bowl to Rutherford. Full toss. Rutherford hasn't really got a hold of it. And the batsmen have just the 2 runs. Seemed to mistime that a bit, John. Hit it perhaps a little high on the bat.
Yes, he did. It just sat up there, didn't it? And I'm sure on many occasions Ken Rutherford had hit that a mile. But he just seemed to overhit it a bit, and as a result didn't get hold of it properly. This one's coming down very fine. Hewani's chasing.
And he's ready going for it. Hawani gets to it now, and they'll get 3 on Hawani's throw. And it came from the bats of Mark Greypatch. So the New Zealand 100 comes up in the 31st over. Here is Hawani bowling to Rutherford, who swings it away. That's a big hit. 6 runs. Well, the umpire signalled 4, but it looked to me like it was a 6.
Well, he was a bit unlucky, the umpire, because that's a part of the ground where the line is well inside the perimeter of the ground. And in fact, he saw it bounce on the grass. He wouldn't be able to see the line from where he stands. So he was only calling what he saw, the ball bouncing on the grass.
Well, the incident that we saw a short time ago has now been sorted out. Graham Cowan has just gone down to the scorer's box, down towards the scoreboard, and indicated to the scorers that it was a 6. So that's good that everything is sorted out.
Oh, I think it's been put down. It has. And of all people, Azharuddin has decked it.
Would have been an outstanding catch, though, with the ball not travelling quite as fast as Azharuddin expected. And it was a long way away from him. It was just popped in the air. He scooped it almost, and Azharuddin diving full length. What a good catch it would have been.
Nicely timed by Greypatch. And it's through. 4 runs. Rahman couldn't stop it.
Timed it beautifully, didn't he? It looked as though he just nudged it for 1 when he played it, and it fairly raced away across the grass. Lovely stroke.
Rahman made a lot of ground here and tried to finish it off with his boot, but just couldn't manage it. That's 50 for Mark Greypatch. That's his 4th 50 in one-day cricket. And well received by the crowd here at the Basin Reserve. End of the over at 140 for 3.
Look at Greypatch's scoring chart. I always love that wagon wheel there. It does show you, doesn't it, that he plays it really pretty well everywhere.
Driving straight, Greypatch, good shot. Oh, Hawani. He had a man backing him up. And they got 2.
Hawani wasn't a great attempt, was it? He didn't know whether to stick out a hand or a foot. You always go with a hand. And the ball bounced. You watch Hawani coming in from the right on your picture there. He really didn't make a very good attempt at it.
Lifted by Greypatch, and he could be caught. He is caught. Caught by Prabhakar. And Greypatch goes for 53. And New Zealand lose their 4th wicket at 148.
Greypatch banging his bat on the ground, angry with himself. See, there he goes again. Poor chap. He played a marvellous job for New Zealand. And of course he's blaming himself because he's a terrific player. And New Zealand have got no one who fights harder for their cause. But I think he did all that was asked of him, and it's now up to the others to carry on the good work. He didn't quite get a sort of fluent swing at it. I think if he'd gone all the way, he came forward and drove almost as an afterthought.
Yes, big blow for India. Changing the New Zealand batting order. Richard Hadley coming out to replace another left-hander in Greypatch, who's out like this, trying to get it over the head of Prabhakar, but in the end it was quite a comfortable catch to the man running in from long on, and that was the end of Mark Greypatch. A very good effort from him, out for 53, and a good partnership with Rutherford.
India's graph getting steeper as they came towards the end of their innings, got to 221. New Zealand almost identical. Hadley works it away through the mid-wicket area. AJ Sharma's at the ball in a hurry. A bad throw, and they get a bonus run. Gusharan Singh now coming back, and Hadley, Rutherford rather, would have been run out if Watson had been able to gather in the ball. The Indian field being put under pressure. They couldn't respond. It should have been just 1 run. As they came back for the second, Rutherford should have been run out down at the bowler's end. If Wasson had been able to catch the ball. Rutherford was gone. Luck for New Zealand. So it's Rutherford on 37. 160 for 4. Prabhakar bowls to him. Well bowled by Prabhakar, but beautifully played by Rutherford. Kapildev to pick it up inside the boundary down a deep third man. They've taken 2. That's all there'll be. That's a good throw back from Kapildev. Bowled him. Was he? No. I tell you what, that looked a very straight delivery. It hit his pad. It just about got through as Rutherford was walking all over the crease. Well, it was a pretty good shout.
Mr. Wasson doesn't seem very pleased, does he? But umpire Graham Cowan, he says no. Let's see where this one hit. Rutherford was doing the 2-step down the other end. Hit him on the back foot. And again, I think it would have missed leg stump.
Hold him. Rutherford out. And New Zealand lose Ken Rutherford for 44. And they lose their 5th wicket at 174.
Which is the last thing they wanted. Ken Rutherford's played splendidly with great pitch. The two of them batted beautifully in tandem. And he comes down the pitch, and if you miss a straight one, obviously, you're in trouble. But a wonderful knock from Rutherford. Just a pity he couldn't keep on going for a little longer. Ian Smith with a big responsibility now to get started again with Hadley, his partner in Auckland, in that fabulous 3rd Test match.
Hadley works it just over the top and out to the fence for 4. Hadley hits it straight back over the bowler's head. What a great hit. 4 runs. Magnificent shot from Richard Hadley. 12 runs off the over. And it's 186 for 5 after 44. Big blow by Richard Hadley off the last ball of the previous over.
And who needs streakers when you can see shots like that? That was a magnificent shot because there was long off on the boundary, there was long on the boundary. Ezra-Dean had the field placed exactly right.
Hadley hits it straight again. And the fielding done by Gersharin. And he had to be pretty quick too.
Well, thrilling stuff, isn't it? What a great finish to this day.
Smith. Smith hammers it away down. He's caught. Gersharin takes the catch. Low to the ground. And New Zealand lose Ian Smith.
Well, that's a vital blow. Ian Smith gone. He thumped it down to mid-off, but Gusharan Singh was equal to the task. Gave himself room, hit it on the up, hit it hard. It was dropping. Wondered whether it carried for a moment, but I don't think there's any question about that. And Gusharan Singh on there for Tendulkar, who was injured earlier, but Ian Smith gone.
27 runs from 23 balls as Shane Thompson comes out. Hadley's on 26. New Zealand at 199 for 6 in the 46th over. That's a good shot. That's going to go to the fence, I think. Great work out on the boundary. Kapildev it was, and it's 3 runs. No, that's magnificent fielding.
Ezra-Dean is changing the field. Prabhakar's got plenty to say. Now the batsmen are going to have a chat. He did have his fine leg up inside the circle. That's always dangerous if you're trying to bowl in tight, because if you stray a little bit and the batsman gets a little touchdown fine, it's a certain 4. So he's put his fine leg back and he's put his 3rd man up. Hello, he's making another change. He's coming across Ezra-Dean to this leg side. And he's going to come into mid-wicket, and he's pushing Vinsaka around to square leg. It's all very delicate scientific stuff.
Certainly been meticulous with his field placing, Ezra-Dean, but I think we're just about set to go. Shane Thompson's been waiting a while now. He's facing Prabhakar. It's high in the air, and oh, that's a great catch. Catch taken by Wasson. What a beauty.
Well, Shane Thompson gone. He tried to give himself a bit of room and hit it over the offside. He didn't get hold of it. It went high. Adel Wasson was weaving around all over the place underneath it. He didn't seem to have it properly lined up at all. Got a fair bit of height. Didn't get any distance. But look at him. He actually fell over and then caught it from his knees. So marvellous effort in the end. But he seems to have hurt himself.
Gavin Larson, his third match for New Zealand, and he comes in at a stage when there are 9 balls to be bowled. Last ball of this over from Prabhakar. He's chopped it on. End of Larson and the end of another New Zealand batsman. So New Zealand will need to score 11 runs off the last over to win the game.
Here's the dismissal, trying to give himself room, Larson. It was a good ball. Wasn't there to cut, but he had to try and do something because he had to get back to ball. He didn't manage it.
So it's Martin Snedden who goes out to join Richard Hadlee. Hadlee will have the first ball of this last over, and New Zealand need to score 11 off the over to win. 10 runs, it's a tie. Now I believe it is a tie if they finish on the same number of runs, John, and it has nothing to do with number of wickets that's fallen.
And so it should be. I think they have different overs and wickets and runs and what have you. If you've got the same number of runs, it should be a tie in a limited over game.
High drama. There we are, 11 required off the last over. Kapil Dev's waving his arms like a traffic officer. First ball of the over. It's away down the third man. That's to the fence.
Well, it went there all right. It went fine down the third man, and there was a gap there. It's pretty difficult to play a shot there, but Richard Hadlee got an edge. If you can get it there, it's ideal. Wait for the big hit. Got an edge through the slip region. There's no one down there. The third man is wide, and it raced across the turf. So 5 deliveries, 7 runs.
Amazing finish. Kapil Dev to bowl the second ball of the last over. Hadlee again. Coming for a second. He'll have to scramble. And he goes.
Well, that's good running by Richard Hadlee. It wasn't a good throw. In the end, there was no real panic. But he had to make the decision, and it was a good one because, remember, New Zealand are 8 down.
Hadlee lifts it. It's going to fall clear of any fieldsman. Away they go for the second run. It's free to win.
Well, what a marvellous over from Richard Hadlee. 3 balls gone, and he's got 8 runs.
He hasn't changed the expression on his face all day, Richard Hadlee.
It's very sensible batting by Richard Hadlee. He's just finding the gaps and very sensible to lift that delivery over the top of the bowler.
Kapil Dev wants the field in now. Hadlee hits it again. Going to look for the second again. Snedden running blind has run out. Snedden is out. So New Zealand are going to need 2 runs with 2 balls to go and the last batsman in. So Hadlee goes to meet Morrison. There's always a smile on Danny Morrison's face. Hadlee's going to have to face. There are 2 balls to go. They've got to work something out here. The ideal, of course, would be for Hadlee to get the runs and not force Danny Morrison to face the last ball. So 2 balls to go. New Zealand need 2 to win. They only have 1 wicket left, remember.
Yes, so he doesn't need to get out here, does he?
2 runs to win. Here's Kapil Dev to Hadlee. India have won the game. What a fantastic finish, and the Indians are absolutely delighted.